Hola, welcome to my channel Clear Vision. My name's Simon, and in today's video I'm going to be looking at how you can get what you want from your life. It's a really broad topic, but I'm going to try and narrow it down to some specific things that you can do. As always, if you like what you see here, please like and subscribe, and for more updates. And everything on my channel is based on my experiences as a psychotherapist. So, first of all, how do you get what you want from life? Well, it sounds really simple. So first of all, it is doable. But first of all, you have to decide what it is actually that you want from life. And so you wouldn't believe how many people don't actually know. So for instance, there have been various surveys over the years where they've asked questions of people who play the lottery, people who win the lottery, things like that. What would you do with the money? Most people don't know the answer to that. The same with if you could retire tomorrow, what would you do? If money was no problem, what would you do if you were, or something a bit more existential, if you had only 1 week, 1 month, 1 year to live, what would you do with your time? So the first thing you need to decide is actually, what is it that you want? What is it that you're trying to achieve? What is it that you desire for your life? How do you want your life to look? And it's not enough to solely think it. You have to write it down. You somehow build a picture of it. Some people do that. I've known people to paint the house of their dreams, and eventually they got it. I've known people to put pictures of cars they want, and it's not always about material things, or write down the shape of their life and how they want it to look, what they want to do with their time, how they want to earn their money, what kind of a family they want, where they want to progress to, how they see their life in the future, all of these things. And so that's the main thing, because actually without that form, without that shape, without that framework, you can't go anywhere and you'll get nothing. If you don't know what you want, if you really don't know what you want, it's effectively your chaos. And a lot of people find this, they're like, I'm trying to get this and I'm trying to get that, and I'm not sure if I actually do want this. And this is where all of the spiritual stuff, or the more kind of like Eastern stuff, kicks in, with this on about alignments and things like that. Thoughts aligned to actions and desires and intentions. And that's exactly what it's all about. If you look into, say, manifesting techniques, it's all the same thing. It's about, this is what I want, this is what I desire in my heart, it's an authentic one, this is how I want it to look, this is how I want it to take its shape within my life, and how I want my life to take shape. So that's the first thing you need to do, which is identify that, draw it, frame it, shape it. So the next few pointers on these tips on how to get what you want from your life, are based on mindset. Mindset and attitude has a lot to do with people achieving and accomplishing the things that they want to do. This is where, you know, the power of positivity, if you like, the power of now, setting intentions, manifesting, meditation, calm mind, all of this stuff, gratitude, etc. This is where it all kind of culminates. Various schools of thought, various philosophies, various approaches, from the woohoo to the hippie to the Eastern to the Western, it doesn't matter. They all kind of say the same thing. Once you've decided what it is you want, whether it's the bigger picture or something smaller, you need to work towards manifesting it. But what you need to do at the same time is not focus too hard on it. If all of your focus is on the goal and not on the destination and not the journey, if you like, you run the risk of setting your mind into, I haven't got this. So you set it into a negative pattern. I haven't got this, I haven't got that. And we all do it. I've done it myself. I'm not here, rather than seeing there as somewhere where you would like to get, and seeing the progression on the way. I'm achieving, I'm progressing step by step, poco a poco, I am getting there, and gradually working towards my desire, the things that I want. And maybe adapt a bit of a Charles Bukowski approach. You know, this don't try philosophy often works. But I am also not really a big advocate of letting things come to you. You kind of have to make a few steps in order to create a few chain reactions and some catalysts and start working towards stuff, and at the same time let stuff come to you too. So be receptive, be open. Something else that helps people with mindset is gratitude. So giving thanks to the universe or God or whatever it is that you want to give thanks to, whatever your belief may be, maybe even yourself, or just simply talking to the sky, to the moon, whatever it may be. But giving thanks somehow, either saying it out loud into the world or by writing it down. I'm grateful for the clothes on my back, the food in my belly. Today was a good day, or it was productive, or I had a really, really nice experience with somebody, something, or I did something which was really beautiful, or I noticed today I was better than I was yesterday. What you're doing, it doesn't matter the belief behind it, whether you think it's magic or it's just nonsense or whatever. What it actually does do is it sets the mind right. So it puts you in a good frame, it puts the mind in a good frame of acknowledging and cementing the things that are happening. So it's about that kind of looking at, not only is my glass half full, but I also have a glass in which to house water. If that makes sense, rather than this I haven't got, nothing good is happening. So because humans tend to very quickly focus on the negative. There are various reasons for this, but we easily focus on the negative and what we haven't got, what's going wrong, what's not happening, rather than where we're actually going. And I say this in a lot of my videos, and I say this to a lot of my clients as well. It's important to acknowledge one's progression. It's important to acknowledge one's accomplishments. It's important to acknowledge that you had a good day, because those things, they need saying out loud, they need acknowledging. Otherwise we do tend to look at everything as a bit negative and blank. Something else I think to acknowledge that's important with this is often what we desire and the things that we want don't always come to us in the form that we thought they would. And again, that's where gratitude and things like that begin to come into play, because then when we receive the things that we wanted, which aren't quite the way we hoped they would be or quite the form we thought they would take, we'll see them in a more positive light, and we'll see them for what they actually are, which is a gift to us and something we've manifested and something we've worked towards. So as a slight aside to this as well, or feeding into this, is your original, the original things that you desire, the original wants that you had aren't always rigid. They can be flexible. So you can change them, you can adapt to them. And certainly as we develop and we grow older and we come across more experiences and we do more things and we meet more people and different things happen to us, our likes, wants, desires change and evolve. And it's sometimes we can get stuck back where we were. So we wanted to be a certain thing, and we realize as life's going on, we keep holding on to that. This is what I want to be, this is what I want, and we haven't quite realized that now we're open to change and suggestion. And actually the original thing that we liked or didn't like or wanted or whatever isn't now, doesn't sit so well with us. I don't know, think of an example. Perhaps we had this massive desire to become a musician and write our own music, for instance. And life comes along, maybe we have children and various other things, and it changes, but we still hold on to this. We haven't realised we've moved past it, and maybe our tastes have changed, maybe our desires have changed, and we're not so into our original desire as we think we are. So this is where self-awareness kicks in. So don't be rigid with it. Being rigid with your desire, with the things that you want, can also bring you a whole load of problems and a whole load of pain. It has to be a certain way. Sometimes, I don't know about you guys, but sometimes in my life I've been really surprised with the way something I've desired has come into my life and the form it has taken, be it in the shape of a person or a hobby or a career move or something like that, and it's like, well, you know what, isn't quite actually how I imagined it, but it's really, really good. It's slightly different and it's really good. And so maybe, I don't know, perhaps the career move you wanted isn't quite in the same, perhaps it's not in the same, with the same company that you envisaged yourself with in the future, or your business isn't. Perhaps you wanted to start your own business and you wanted to be, I don't know, let's say a photographer, or you wanted to start your own, I don't know, accountancy firm. And somehow you've ended up having your own business, but it's not in your original, in the original field that you thought it would be. It's in a side shoot, or it's in something completely different. And if we get stuck on, well, I always wanted to be blah, that kind of breeds a lot of negativity. But you can look at it another way and kind of go, well, actually, ultimately at the core, what I wanted to be was I wanted to be a company owner. I wanted to build my own company. I have built my own company and adapted, utilizing my skills and talents. I've adapted into this side arena, and some of the most successful people I've talked to, and this video is not just about financial success or whatever, but some of the most successful people I've talked to financially and fulfilled people, is most of them say the same thing. Oh, it isn't quite how I imagined it would be, and I kind of went off in this direction and somehow it worked, and it's really, really worked, and it's really unique to me. So be open to those changes, be open to that flexibility. If you're not, it's going to make you resentful, frustrated, because it's not exactly how you imagined it. There may well be challenges along the way. I don't know where it comes from, if it's a passage from the Bible or if it's some pearl of wisdom from somewhere, but there's that kind of, it was floating around on social media recently and I really liked it, but it was that kind of, I asked for strength and God sent me challenges. I think it was from the Bible. And I asked for whatever else it was, and you were sent the opposite. And that is actually quite true to life. Nothing worth working towards comes easy. You may have the raw talent, you may have the enthusiasm, the desire, but there will be challenges along the way, and those challenges are there to test you, are there to build your skill set, are there to build your resilience. Personally, I'm a big believer in nothing happens for a reason, and there are no such things as coincidences. Maybe you think different, that's fine. But what I think we probably possibly can agree on is that certainly the challenges that come your way do present opportunities for growth. Yes, some things are extremely challenging and can be very, very traumatic and can take us a long time to get past. Some things can give us more problems, but ultimately we have that kind of existential choice where it's actually, do I keep pushing for this? Do I keep moving through this? I have a choice in how to act with this. I can move through it, I can transcend it, or I can sit here just going, life is terribly, terribly shit. Shit things keep happening to me, shit things keep coming my way, I give up. And it's entirely up to you which way you approach it. Another technique you can use is writing a letter to the universe. And sometimes this is like a promise to us. I do things sometimes on audio message, and I write letters as well to the universe. Now, you can believe in, like I said earlier, you can believe in magic, you can believe in the universe, you can believe in it's all nonsense, whatever. But what writing to a third party does, or messaging in real time a third party, is it kind of, again, it cements your thoughts, it cements your desires, it brings it into the world rather than remaining at the back of your head somewhere, as which I think it often does for a lot of people. And that brings problems later on down the line. Well, I always wanted to, but and it's actually, you never brought it out, you never brought it into the world, you never gave birth to it, you never said it out loud, this is what I want. And that's actually quite a powerful thing to do. This is what I want, and this is what I'm going to have to do to get it, and probably more. So write it down in a letter. To your future self is another one. Your future self, write to the universe, write to the moon, lunar, write to nature, write to God, write to whatever God it is that you believe in, or write to a friend. And just say, you don't have to reply, just, I'm writing to you. And they go, okay, got your letter. You're putting it out there, and it's very, very powerful stuff to do. Then I would say the other thing that you need to have when it comes to getting what you want from your life is motivation. There's desire, so there's passion. There's motivation. So the passion is the motivation, and you need the motivation to work towards your passion, your desire. But you need commitment, and it's commitment to your future self, and maybe commitment to your past self, if you like, and your present self. But it's commitment to do it. It's those nights where you sit down working on yourself, your future, working on your plan, the sacrifices you make because you are working towards something else or something that you want for yourself. That commitment, those actions, that dedication to where you're going and what you want are going to be the things that see you through and pull you through. Many people, kind of stop at, oh, now I need to act on it. And there's nothing wrong with that as well, but then you need to ask yourself, well, did I really want it? Was the passion, was the desire strong enough? And the answer is probably no. Yes, we can have bad breaks, bad luck. We can be wrong place, wrong time, bad timing, things like that. And a lot of people give up there and then. And then those who get through get up and keep pushing. And I'm not going to go into them, but there are hundreds of stories from hundreds of people who fulfilled themselves and lead fulfilling lives. And there are those that have their name in lights, and there are those that equally don't have their name in lights, aren't very well known, and will tell you the same stories. They will tell you the stories of endurance, of adversity, and persecution, ridicule, all the way along the way, and they just kept going because that's what they wanted. And those stories go from rock stars and Hollywood stars to music producers to YouTubers and therapists and nurses and doctors and blind people who can paint and athletes who don't have the right limbs or strength or whatever else, people facing life and death situations. It happens all over, and those stories can be found. So there's an awful lot of weight in that commitment and that dedication and saying it out there, and this is what I want, and working towards it. I hope that's helped. Thought I'd try a lighter subject this week. In the meantime, please take care of yourselves, and I'll see you next time.